Hello, everyone. Today is Friday. It's time for my weather forecast. Getting the website up. I may have to go off cam for a second to get my wire. I will let you know about that in a second. Well, not in a second. I'll let you know if I get the alert. All right, so let's get the weather going. Guys, be sure to share this. I would like you guys to share it to any groups that you can. Share it on your own page, please. That will help me a lot. So definitely do that. All right. I want everyone to have the most informed forecast. All right. Well, anyway, Friday night, high pressure in control in the Northeast. All right. So in the Northeastern United States, we have high pressure under control. Give me one sec. Give me like 1 second, because the website is not going at the speed I want it to. All right, let's try it in Chrome. I rarely ever use Explorer, like ever. We're going to bring this up in Chrome, so just give me like 1 sec. There we go, much better. This is why I hate Internet Explorer. All right, anyway. Here's Chrome. Here is Trop Tidbits. All right, so high pressure in control. I think that remains in control through this weekend. Sunday, I think most of Sunday is looking nice. I would say the only thing we'd have to worry about is probably an isolated shower Sunday night, where we have to question whether that moisture will totally dry out, but that is not out of the realm of possibility. Now, next week, I talked about this on my last forecast, and the models are starting to show it. High pressure, low pressure in the tropics, and it looks like that there is possible formation of a tropical storm. Now, where that will be, that's still within question. It could end up in between any of this area that I'm circling right now. Where it will go, I definitely think that there is the potential for a tropical storm. Here it's got a Category 2 hurricane. Again, the GFS does overdo the intensity, but I will not outrule the possibility of a hurricane. We've got to look at the dynamics. It spins around that tropical system, and it becomes a problem for us in the Northeast. This could lead to some northeastern flooding. If it does connect with that cold front, which is what I was worried about before, if we do get connection with that cold front, we may have a problem with heavy rain and more thunderstorms. All right, so I think it's very important for everybody to watch this. Meanwhile, in the west, Derek could have another problem here if that comes to fruition in the next tropical system with a form there. But right now, we're looking at the east. All right, so if this does become a tropical system, the next name is Michael, and Michael would be affecting the Gulf area, somewhere probably between western half of Louisiana and the western portions of Florida. It could go on the eastern portions as well. That's not out of the question. Pulling up the upper air dynamics involved with all this. Why is this happening? Okay, let me explain. The same reason we're going to have a ridge in the east next week. Strong upper level low in the western states, lingering right over Derek's area, Nick, over Bear. We have that strong upper level low, and that upper level low is generating a strong trough, very, very vertical meridional trough that is covering the western portion of the United States. Meanwhile, full ridge will be in control next week. This is me looking at next week's forecast. That ridge will set up warmer than average temperatures for next week. So I'm thinking somewhere Wednesday-ish, Thursday-ish, we could get into the 80s. All right. So meanwhile, what's going on in the Gulf? Well, upper level winds will be weakened because I do think that there is a little bit of trough in the southeast, but I do think that will let off and will pull north, and we'll have a lessened wind shear, lessened upper level deep shear further south and west of that. And what will happen is I think that in the warm waters will allow for a tropical system to strengthen. And now, as this trough pulls east, you have a front stationed up in the Ohio Valley, sit up around western Indiana. So we're talking about points just right near Chicago. So Gary, Indiana, around that area, around the areas around Indiana Beach as well. Hold on, give me like 1 second. That is my cue. I will be right back. need my wire. Oh, very good, Brady. You okay, Mom? I'll be right back. Okay, here I come. Just giving myself a plug in the wall, and we will be good to go. I don't want to lose the laptop mid-forecast. Okay, there we go. We're back. So, Michael would form, and because of that front, you would have Michael come up and bring major flooding issues into the Carolinas, into the southern valleys, the southeastern United States, so Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, which is really bad because they just got inundated with Florence, as you know. Nobody needs any more rain. As a matter of fact, weather tip for all of you guys, nearly every big city in the East is several inches above average already. We are. New York, we are. Okay, so every big city in the East is several inches, and then that upper low just exits out east, northeast out of the states by Friday, and we end up having a pretty nice, comfortable weekend in the East. All right, so this is something we have to watch. Obviously, this is one of many scenarios. I just want to get an idea of what the model, the GFS has out right now, running this all the way through Friday, and you can kind of see all the total accumulated precipitation that it does. Anywhere in that purple are areas of 3 inches plus of rain. The dark purples are areas that could be 4 to 5 inches of rain, and that extends all the way into southeastern Pennsylvania, which they are soaked already. Long Island westward, so I would say Nassau County westward is 2 inches of rain. Anywhere in that purple, like I said, could be 3 to 5 inches of rain, or maybe even higher, because the GFS does underdo this. I'm not saying this will happen. This is just an illustration of a possibility, but this would be a major problem for flooding if this were to occur. Not major, but it would be a significant problem. It would be more major for the southeast that just already got inundated with flooding, and some of these areas in the northeast that got the 5 to 7 inches of rain that fell the other week due to that frontal system coming through, and that delivered a lot of rain. So nobody needs this rain. We're already several inches above average. So just to go over what we talked about for the east, to start out with Friday, I think that going on the 2-meter air temperature, so I can give you a thermodynamic look of what we're expecting. Well, I don't want to pull this because it's going to get confusing for all of you guys. All right, so Friday, going all the way back to where we are Saturday. Saturday, I think we're cooled down through this weekend. We have colder air, warmer air starts to eject north Monday. So the 80s start to come back as that ridge starts to intensify. On Tuesday, we hit 78. On Wednesday, we hit 80 again, puts us around the 80s as that ridge intensifies. And then Friday and Thursday, as that system were to come through, if it does. This is all hypothetical at this point, although I do think a front's going to come through and at least give us some rain. So I do expecting rain at the end of next week. Just how bad it is, I don't know yet. All right, so 78 on Thursday, and then, like I said, by the time we get to Friday, 78. And I think that the weekend will get cooler. If we look by Sunday, we're at 68 degrees, so a major drop-off on Long Island. We're in the 70s, probably the lower half of the 70s. On Saturday, we still hit the mid-70s, mid to low 70s, but on Sunday, I think we cooled down a lot. And then on Monday, we really get a blast of fall. Again, I don't want to go too far into this because some of this may not be accurate representation. So what are you expecting? I think through Monday, I think we're going to be, except for Sunday, I think we'll be in the low 70s. Sunday, we may hit close to 80. By Tuesday into Friday, Tuesday into Thursday, we may hit close to 80 degrees. It's not going to be that 88 as it showed before. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that was just one of those wrong representations. By Thursday, Friday, that's when we're going to have to watch for rain. How bad it will be, that depends a lot on Michael, because if Michael does impact the forecast, it could be several inches for parts of the Northeast. It really depends. And definitely in the Southeast would be another headache down there with the rainfall, which nobody needs because they already got hit with Florence. All right, over to the Western United States. All right, so in the West, we have a lingering trough that's setting up this pattern in the East. So let me pull up the 500 so I can show you what's kind of going on here. So pulling it into today, we have this trough in the West, which is kind of breaking down a little bit. It will re-strengthen up going into this weekend. You can see that secondary upper level low reinforcement of cold air comes down, and this is very strong. You have an upper low. This is what we call a cutoff low, because you see the main flow of the jet stream going to the north, and you have the secondary sublimating, the secondary flow going to the south, cut off from the main flow of the jet stream. This is what we call a cutoff flow, and this can produce some very intense upper level winds, especially on the eastern side of the upper low, all right, and colder air. So pulling up the thermodynamics to show you what's going on here, you can kind of see that even in Phoenix, you're colder than average, I'll tell you that. Sunday, you're only reaching 76. Yuma, you're closer to 90s. It's hard to really get you impacted too badly, but I think that, Derek, you're going to feel it. You're going to know it. In Phoenix, you're going to know it. That upper low is definitely going to play a role for you. You look up by Bear, my friend Bear in Wyoming. My gosh, you're already experiencing that cold winter air. There is highs of 31 that the models have out for you. Now, this may be a little bit of a colder look, but we're still looking here. Montana, out by the Missoula area, in the western edge of Montana, 48 degrees, right, as a high on Monday. So we're starting to feel this. Even Las Vegas, having a high of around only 67 to 70 degrees. So you're definitely feeling the presence of this upper low in the western states. That's for sure. And I'm telling you, it's not going to move anytime soon. It's going to be there for the majority of the week, until at least, I think by the time we get to the weekend, it might start to move east. It's going to start to move eastward as we start getting impacts of colder weather here. But in the West, I think that you're going to be definitely colder than normal. I'm going to run through some highs here for Derek. On Tuesday, 77. On Wednesday, 78. These are around highs, Derek. Your high may actually hit about 80. This is like 1 o'clock, but they only run through 6-hour intervals. On Thursday, even showing around 70 degrees, 74, all right, 78 to 80. So this is generally colder than average temperatures for you, all right, and that's because of the upper low. Now, I want to talk about some severe weather that could go on in the Midwestern states, all right. So here is going on to Tuesday. Generally, when we talk an upper level trough, we talk about an area of low pressure diving southward on a surface low. And there it is, 998, right? By the time we get to Saturday night. Now, as we get into Sunday, and we run this through Sunday, all right, some showers and thunderstorms. Now, I might be able to pull the NAM up to 84 hours. Let's see if we have a good representation of that, because this can give me a better look at what we might see on a 3-kilometer look. And you can kind of see those showers and storms popping up west of that, and this could be sometime on Sunday. So Aldape, I hope you're watching this. Depending where you are in Kansas, we may have to watch out for this low area of low pressure for you. All right, so this may bring upon showers and thunderstorms for you in that area. All right, you can see this running through Saturday night into Sunday. This may be a thing for you to look out for as the storm system starts to move through. Now, the NAM only goes out 84 hours, so I can't go beyond that point. So, this can continue. Monday, we could just have an overall generic rainy weather. It's just going to be kind of rainy weather for you, Aldape, all the way possibly later on tomorrow night, all the way through Tuesday until this low moves out. And that a lot of that's due to the upper low that's situated in the west. Then we're watching Michael for us. And what impacts that has in the east, still undefined at this point, but definitely watching that. So Aldape, I'm thinking that you'll be colder than average. I'll run through some highs, but I definitely think that this weekend it's going to be colder for you. All right, I definitely think colder, not necessarily too cold because most of that trough will be to the west of you, but there will be definitely showers and thunderstorms, probably late Saturday night, all into Monday. And you could see Kansas, depending on what part you're at, kind of splits. You got some 60s as wait, I'm way far behind ahead here. So let me run this to the weekend. All right, so you can kind of see by the time we get to Saturday, you're colder. All right, in Kansas, by the time you get into the afternoon temperatures, around 55 degrees, 56. And then again, the temperatures, again, myriading. If you're on the western side, you're in the 64 to 70s, so you're outside of that trough. But if you're on the eastern side, you can definitely be in the 50s and 60s. So definitely colder. And then as we get toward Monday, you're going to start to warm up a bit as that ridge starts to take fold. So 70s in Kansas. By the time Tuesday hits, we're close to 70 in Kansas. And by the time you get Wednesday, you kind of get that ridge and trough battle going on in that area as we get into Wednesday, Thursday, where it gets a little bit complicated for you. But I definitely think you're going to see 70s, low 70s, Monday through Wednesday, and probably looking at maybe around 60, 58 as a high, probably Saturday and Sunday. I'll run back to Saturday again to make sure I hit that on the nose. Yeah, so around 50 to 55, it'll be a colder day on Saturday. And then by the time you get to Sunday, around 58 degrees for Alex Aldape. And then mostly 70s through next week and this weekend for my man, Derek Relford. All right. So what anything that you have to worry about precip-wise in the Pacific? Yes. Derek, I am watching another system that if that trough comes down, you get another trough system. That could mean more rain for you. And I am watching that system for us. Now, before I go, I do want to do two things. One thing I want to do is I want to bring up, we want to take a look here at the tropics. Now, you can see these are global hurricane models. This would be the system I was talking about in the eastern states. A few tracks. Here's one track. Now, this is way too early, but one track taking it obviously over toward us, and a few of the tracks exiting out toward the Carolinas area, creating a big flooding mess for the South Carolina area. Again, some of that could also be, that could later on be absorbed. It depends. Is the general consensus here of Invest 91. Majority of the tracks, the ensembles, run it out through North Carolina. So again, another mess there, where that could, depending on the front, could mean rain for us if that gets absorbed. So that's something we're going to have to watch. It could be another mess for North Carolina as well. So don't pay attention to the intensity, just more so pay attention. This is the GEPS. I think I was showing you the GEFS before. Yes, that's the GEFS. And this is the GEPS. Some of it taking it in. So as you can see, there's a wide range and variety of tracks, which is why we can't get too hung up on the storm system yet. NOAA right now has a high chance of this developing. As I said before, this is over a 70% chance of development, an 80% chance of development and formation within 5 days. So definitely probably around next week for that to happen. All right, so looking in the Gulf of Mexico, you can kind of see the showers and thunderstorms. You see an area of low pressure trying to get itself together here, but there is still ample wind shear around, so I don't think any development's going to happen into some portion of next week. Again, this thunderstorm threat I was bringing down for Alex, that's today's thunderstorm probabilities, going back to the Storm Prediction Center, and then thunderstorms you can see for tomorrow through the Midwestern states, depending on exactly that upper low, and you get thunderstorms tomorrow through much of Kansas, as I brought up before. All right. One more thing I want to bring up is the wind shear maps, and then we can call this a day before I discuss one more thing with you guys. Here's the wind shear. Where is it? Let's see, this will do it. All right, you can see that wind shear really Shear tendency increasing. Wind shear is increased over the Cuba, Yucatan Peninsula area. So this has been limiting development. This I expect to lessen in Pole North, and that will allow for the storm to form, Michael. And then we have in the Gulf of Mexico a warming of the water temperatures. Still temperatures are very conductive. They're well over 80, well over 27. They're about 27, 28 degrees Celsius. You have about close to 30 degrees Celsius temperatures off the coast of Florida. So we're still talking about temperatures near and around 80 degrees there. So you still got temperatures conductive for tropical storm development for sure. Hurricane, I'm not sure about. That's kind of iffy. I don't know. I think it will become a tropical storm. If it did develop into a Cat 1, it really wouldn't be a big deal outside of technical things. The main thing to take out of this is more of the rain than it is anything else. The rain is going to be the big problem for potentially us and potentially the southeast as well. So we're going to have to watch. And we're going to have to see how much of that moisture gets further to the north. At least of Michael's, assuming that it develops. And you can kind of see the expected rainfall the next 5 days in their area. It hasn't made it up to our area yet. Obviously, uncertainties in the forecast. Okay, so that's it for the tropics. All right, now, to end this, I want to tell you, Arch Rivals is on tonight, 10:30, so make sure you're watching. Please share my video to your Facebook page, to any groups that you can share it in. Share this video, like, comment. I will be sharing this onto my wall, so please like and comment and share, and watch Arch Rivals at 10:30. Pain Train Pipe Bomb will be on tomorrow night. All right, at 7:30. All right, the crew couldn't make it last night. I was not informed of why, but the crew couldn't make it last night, and we will be on Saturday. All right, and you can listen to me then too. Thank you. Peace out.